What's up, 10-3? This is our first lesson in the new unit, which is on temperature, mass, and angles. This first lesson is on temperature. This whole unit's going to be pretty quick, only about 4 or 5 lessons. So let's get into it. So temperature is measured using a thermometer, right? Like if you have a cold or a flu and you're not feeling good, you check your temperature with a thermometer. And so thermometers are an example of a measuring tool because temperature is a measurement. And so there are 2 common scales used to measure temperature. The first one is the SI scale, which stands for the System International. That's the scale used here and in Canada and kind of all over the world. We represent that as a temperature in Celsius, or kind of in short form, we say degrees Celsius. And the other type of measurement system for temperature is in the imperial system, which is commonly used in the United States, and we represent that in Fahrenheit. And commonly we would just go degrees Fahrenheit. So those are the 2 main temperature scales. There is also Kelvin, which is commonly used in the sciences. So just a little background for us, because we use the Celsius system. The word centigrade came from the Latin term referring to 100 steps, which means the Celsius scale is based on 100 steps. And so how they figured that out is, well, water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius, and 100 steps from that is where water boils. Okay, so let's go look at some common conversions here. So just, like sometimes people are like, oh, it was really cold, it was 20 degrees, and that's in Fahrenheit. And sometimes it's hard for us to reference that because we deal with degrees Celsius all the time. So here's kind of an example. Minus 30 degrees Celsius is actually minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. For an example, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, which is 212. So kind of some interesting conversions there for you. But really what we want to know is how we can convert back and forth between these 2 scales. So if I am trying to solve for Celsius given a temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, I would use this formula, which is 5 over 9 bracket times F minus 32. The other formula here is if you are trying to solve to figure out what a particular temperature might be in Fahrenheit, and you are given the degrees Celsius. And so you would go 9 over 5 times that given degrees Celsius, and then you add 32 to that. So let's go look at a few examples. I left the formulas on top of the page there for you. So it says, while visiting Florida, Kathy heard a local say that it had been very cold overnight, and it was 42 degrees. At first she thought that wasn't cold, but then Kathy realized the person meant in Fahrenheit. So what is that temperature in degrees Celsius? So we are trying to solve for Celsius. So I'm going to use this formula right here because I am given the degrees in Fahrenheit is 42 degrees. So I'll write my formula down. C is equal to 5 over 9 bracket times F minus 32. So I'm trying to solve for this guy, and I know that the temperature that they said in Fahrenheit is 32. So C is equal to 5 over 9 times 42 minus 32. Well, 42 minus 32 is 10. So this would equal 5 over 9 times 10. And so I had to take 5 over 9 and times that by 10. So 5 over 9 times 10, I can just put that on my calculator, is about 5.6 degrees Celsius. I mean, it's chilly, but it's not like it's a negative temperature. But I guess if you're used to Florida weather, 5.6 degrees Celsius may be cold. Okay? So just kind of taking what you're given and substituting it into some formulas. Let's take a look at the next question. So it says, Ned was paving a road with heated tar during a hot summer day. He noticed that the external temperature of the tar was 48 degrees Celsius. What is the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit? So they are given, right? I am given C, because they give me 48 degrees Celsius. And what was this in degrees Fahrenheit? So I'm looking for F. So that's going to be this formula right here, because I can plug the number in here and just get F. So F is equal to 9 over 5 C plus 32. So 9 over 5 is times by C, which is 48, plus 32. So we're going to go 9 over 5 times 48 on my calculator, and that's going to give me about 86.4, but I'm not done because I still have to add 32 to that. So in Fahrenheit, 48 degrees Celsius is about 118.4 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, I have one more quick question here. So example 3 says a frozen food must be kept within the range of 0 degrees Fahrenheit to minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit for proper preservation. A truck hauling some frozen food has a thermometer that reads minus 19 degrees Celsius. Is the truck preserving the food in the proper range? So my options here are either take these conversions, like 0 degrees Fahrenheit and minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit, and convert those both to Celsius, or I take the Celsius and change that to Fahrenheit. And I'm going to choose this minus 19 Celsius and change it to Fahrenheit because I'd rather do one conversion than two conversions. And then once I have everything in the same unit, I can compare them and answer the question. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to go look to see what that is in Fahrenheit because I'm given the minus 19 degrees Celsius. So again, I'm going to use this formula because I'm solving for F. So F is equal to 9 over 5C plus 32. We know that the temperature of the truck is minus 19 degrees Celsius, and I need to add 32 to that. So I would take minus 19 and times it by 9 over 5 on my calculator, and I get negative 34.2. And I have to add 32 to that to get my final answer in Fahrenheit. So that minus 19 degrees Fahrenheit is approximately negative 2.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Minus 19 degrees Celsius is approximately negative 2.2 degrees Fahrenheit. So is the food that's in that truck in the correct range? Well, it has to be between 0 and 4 degrees, and it is. So that means the truck is at the proper temperature for keeping that food at a good temperature. Okay, so if you are ready and that kind of makes sense to you, I would like you to go try some homework. Homework 1, which is on pages 3 and 4. The answers are posted online. And once you feel comfortable using those formulas, you can go try the temperature quiz. Okay, thank you for listening. Bye.